You never know if like I'm going to shake your hands and you're going to go, me too, we hashtag me too, you're great. You had auditioned for the main character of The Shepherd, which is the short film about the birth of Christ.
Well, I won't tell anyone. Your secret's safe with me.
I liked you right away, but I wasn't in LA. I was cast with the casting directors, and I just was looking at video. And we ended up casting another actor in the role.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Secret's safe with me.
But when it came time to cast this show, I specifically reached out. And so you came in on audition for Simon.
Yeah.
And
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we had a
Can I see that tape?
Probably.
I'm curious.
He did great.
I'd love to see that tape.
I do not need a reason to celebrate my brothers and sisters. So, make sure Alice gets some cider. Can't handle the good stuff. Elishaiba, Jason, you will need some to drown out your sorrows after you lose this game. And you, I don't know your name, you're new, but wow. We're not afraid you'll steal our fish, we're afraid you'll steal our women. Oh my, look at this golden mane, like Absalom, no?
And then you asked me, you know, how's it feel? And I was like, honestly, like, I feel like it'd be hard to cast me as Simon. But I love the show, and I love the, you know...
Love the script. And,
yeah.
But I said to you, I think...
Are there any other roles?
Was it in the callback or in the first time? No, because I didn't see your callback. Because I had you come back as Matthew.
Yeah.
And he read for
and
Matthew.
Oh! Yeah.
I do not find Simon reliable. Once, when he was delinquent in his taxes, to pursue remedy, I discovered he spent an inordinate amount on games of chance at the local establishment.
I think I said to you, you're going to be in this show.
Yeah, but it didn't. I have learned from my time in this business, right, that I certainly don't rely on something like that. But you had said, I'm not exactly sure where, but you're going to be on the show. And I just was like, okay, don't connect too much to that. I obviously wanted to. And then finally, when you had mentioned Andrew, a scene that I connected to right away was watching Simon fight. That, when I read the script in the beginning, I was thinking about Simon, I was like, oh, I love that. Right. I love the guy who's not the one in the fight. He's the one kind of in the background, helping in the way more intellectual maybe than physical. And so then you said Andrew, and I was like, I hope so, you know, and that. But just quickly about the where I was before, I had a rough year. I was feeling very bad. So then this came up, and I watched The Shepherd, and I was just really moved, you know, afterwards. And that's when I was like, oh, it's the thing that I had auditioned for, because they didn't tell me you had asked specifically for me.
Oh, interesting.
So I went in, and Dallas was like, Noah, thanks for coming in. And I was like, yeah, man, no problem. Like, we never met. He's like, I asked specifically for you, and I stopped him. I was like, I gotta stop you. I'm so sorry. Like, I think you think I'm someone else. And the audition, you're like, no, it's you. But that was how I was feeling. I was like, very in not a good place, and then getting it, I was just like unbelievably grateful, and I still am. Every time I'm like, I'm staying in a hotel. Like a van comes and takes me to set. Like it's just I was so grateful. It really was a definite turning point for me.
Bum, 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 bum.
We talked a little bit where you were in your life when you got it.
Yeah. Well, I had just fired my team in LA, and we talked about this. And I was like, there's something about saying quitting that's so permanent to me that I knew I wasn't going to quit. I just knew I just needed a break, because it was a hard year. My brain was fried, and I was like, I don't like how I feel. Why'd you turn to me for brain fried? Because we talked about it.
I'm just
we talked about it. So then I went home just to, go back to my, with my family, just hang out. And then a friend of mine at the casting office sent this and said, I think you could do a really good job with the character. And I read it, and I was like, Matthew, like this guy? Like, really? Is that how you see me? Like, okay, cool. And then I was like, let me give it a try. And, I've had these kind of characters come up for me before, just being on the spectrum and things. So I just dug up some notes I had and just kind of felt it through. And
you auditioned via Skype, because I wanted you to come in, and you couldn't. You were, I think,
I was still home, and
weren't you visiting your parents in Florida?
But visiting / for 5 weeks.
Yeah, because you were
escaping.
You were going through something in your life.
It was just it's crazy coming on this set and hearing so many similar stories. It's just how I just need a detox, and it's just a hard career and then a hard environment, So. Yeah,
then he auditioned. I did it,
that's
a
hard,
laptop
man.
on the desk in the casting office, and someone's reading to him, and I'm just watching this computer. And it was glitching too. It was like buffering.
It was glitching, so I kept repeating my lines over and over again. And then when it moved, I'd move forward.
Additionally, based on his financial status, I questioned Simon's connections to the merchant class.
I was like, I'm not gonna get this. And there was one read, and Dallas was like, great job. And I was like, okay, cool.
That's it.
I was like, all right, that's how that is. That's what's.
See, I don't actually say things that I don't mean. So, like,
we're not used to that.
Apparently, I found that that's more rare than I thought it was.
You also said we'll be in touch, so that's when I was like, okay, I could get this, and then I never heard back for 3 weeks.
Was it 3 weeks?
Like,
it did.
It was a week before.
I do remember that. I think it took a
before.
long time. Yeah. The whole process was pretty
because
drawn
it's a
out.
puzzle piece. I mean, it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
So you're going. I don't want to fully commit to him as Andrew yet until I know we have a Simon. I know we have a Matthew. I know because I may need him for something else.
I thought you're here to talk about miracles.
I've told David Amito, who plays John the Baptist, had auditioned for Matthew and was our number one choice for Matthew. Wow. Amanda kept saying, and she was passionate about it, like she liked him, and then she kept saying, we should see Paris again. David's a really interesting actor and really, like, he's very quirky and does all these kind of unique, kind of odd things and times, which are all cool. And we thought of Matthew as odd, And you weren't, in your first read for Matthew, you weren't playing it overly OCD or anything. So I just thought, okay, that's a safe choice. David's kind of the quirky choice, and that's what I like to do. So I sent her the Skype interview, which doesn't work because it was so awkward. And she's just like, it needs to be Paris. And
well, she told me the story about my Skype video that you sent, I guess, and it just opens with me just doing this because the camera wasn't working. So I'm like, what? Like, yeah. And she's like, that was it.
It's very
and I was like, yeah. And I tell her all the time, it's like, I feel like I have you to thank. No, I mean you of course, but just
no. She plays a big part of it.
Yeah.
And,
so
and same with
grateful.
you. I mean, she was like, it was immediate. I sent her the tape. I'm like, I think Liz Tabish is like really good, and she's like, done, yes, because she was the most passionate about Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Magdala in Israel last year, and I felt this weight spiritually and intellectually and emotionally, like, don't get this character wrong. Because again, these people are real. Like, you guys are playing part, regardless of whether you are a believer in Jesus as the Messiah or in the Bible as the Word of God, whatever. Very few people dispute that these people actually existed. So you still want to get them right.
Yeah.
And so we just felt a tremendous pressure in the casting process to get it right, which is why it took long.
And action.
Where were you kind of in your life? You've mentioned a few times that you were considering quitting.
Yeah, something just wasn't working, and I was living in Austin, and I could not afford it anymore. I moved in with my mom, and she was like, just take a breather, just give yourself some space to figure things out. So I called my agent. I was like, stop submitting me. I can't take the rejection and the hope and then the dashing of hope over and over. He submitted me to this without telling me, which thank God, thank God. And he sent me the scripts for the audition, and I read them. I was expecting something much cheesier, honestly. I was not expecting to have the emotional reaction I had, and just reading through all of it, I was crying, and I connected to it in a really specific way of like, this isn't just I can play this. This is me. It was like a very strange connection. And since I was a kid, I always loved Mary of Magdala. There was just like this is what I've been wanting to play my whole life.
Wow.
I'm excited and a little terrified. The fear, of course, is going up for it, auditioning for it, and like not getting it. I can't take it anymore, So I went into that first audition with the heartbreak of not getting it. It once held something valuable, and I don't need it anymore. I was just, I think, in the state of Lilith. I was actually like Lilith in that moment. And then, I left and I was like, okay, again, don't get your hopes up, And then I didn't hear back for the callback, I think, for a couple of weeks. And I was like, it's just...
Which is a long time.
Yeah.
But again, that's that feeling of like, oh, and then you get it and you're like, oh, that's the roller coaster of why it's so
But then it
so
happens,
difficult.
then it happens again of just like you go in for the callback. Do you
So
hope?
then your manager calls you and says, your rep says,
you have a callback. And so I was actually booked that day for an industrial commercial, and I told him, I'm like, I'm not going to that. I'm going up to Dallas. And like I turned down work. I was like, I have to be
That's
here. I
great.
can't do a
That's so
tape. Like,
great.
I have to be here.
I think I told you.
Felt really-
Did I tell you we're casting you?
No, but you did say after you're like, I'm looking forward to working with you.
Yeah.
So I was like, that sounds.
Yeah,
I may have.
One day.
Like,
One
maybe
day.
next season.
No, because this was one of those like, please just don't show up and do something really
Terrible.
crazy. Don't. Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Don't. Yeah.
Throw things at
Yeah,
you
yeah,
while
yeah.
you're, yeah.
Just
Like
go
so,
safe.
yeah.
But
like-
it is good to meet. I
Well,
feel
you,
like
you never
it's-
know if like I'm gonna shake your hands and you're gonna go, me too. We have said me too. You're great.
yeah.
Like, and you're just like, I'm gonna be very.
Total spasm.
Let's just have a like.
Are you normal? Yeah.
And then I wanted to. I had some notes about the third scene,
Yeah,
about the
of
humor scene,
lightening it
because I said,
up,
yeah, you
yeah.
played a little heavy last time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you can do light, and I think I stopped halfway through the scene.
I think
I said,
think
you know what, I don't need
finished
to say anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you walked out, I was like, oh yes. It was so great. So yeah, casting you was one of the fun joys of the process.
I got in my car. I drove back to Austin. This never happens. I got a call from my agent. I think it was like an hour after the call back.
Oh really?
I mean,
Were you still driving?
I was driving. He was like, "You got it." I'm like,
That's so cool.
"That never happens.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always like a week or something."
Mhm.
But
That's so
that
cool.
was no more waiting.
Yeah. Hey, it's Dallas, I'm the creator of The Chosen, and if you liked what you just saw and you want to see the episodes of the first ever multi-season show about the life of Christ, you can do so right now for free. Yes, if you get the Chosen app, you can watch these episodes for free right now. You're going to go to thechosen.tv or the Apple Store or Google Play, download the app, and you can watch immediately episodes 1 through 4. Hope you enjoy it, and thanks so much.